The glass doors of Asteria Towers slid open with a soft chime, and the man everyone in the city admired, Ethan Cole, the youngest billionaire CEO in New York, walked in. His custom navy suit shimmered under the morning sunlight, his watch worth more than some people's homes, and his stride confident, almost mechanical. But inside, Ethan was a storm of silence. Every morning began the same way: elevator to the top floor, coffee exactly at 8:15, back-to-back meetings, zero smiles. His office was filled with success, awards, newspaper clippings, trophies, but completely empty of warmth. No family pictures, no laughter, just achievement echoing off cold marble walls. That morning, as he entered the building, the air was buzzing with the usual hush of admiration. Secretaries straightened up, security nodded respectfully. Everyone knew the legend, Ethan Cole, the man who built a billion-dollar empire before he turned 35. But no one knew that he had no one to share it with. Outside the towering glass, at the corner of the building, a little girl stood on her toes, holding something wrapped carefully in foil. Her brown curls were messy, her shoes a little too big, and her eyes, bright, unafraid, searched through the crowd. She clutched a small paper bag to her chest, whispering to herself. Greater than, don't forget, Anna. Say it nicely, you forgot your lunch, Daddy. Yes, like that. She rehearsed it again, adjusting her pink sweater, her tiny hands trembling a little. Security guard Mr. Jacobs, an older man with kind eyes, noticed her. Greater than, hey, kiddo, you lost. No, sir, she said proudly. My daddy forgot his lunch. I came to give it to him. Jacobs smiled gently. Oh, I see, what's your daddy's name? Anna smiled wide. Daddy. The guard chuckled, thinking she was being shy. But before he could ask again, Ethan Cole, the CEO himself, stepped through the lobby, talking on his phone. The girl's eyes lit up. She gasped softly. Greater than, Daddy. Her voice echoed like a bell in the silent lobby. Ethan froze. His phone nearly slipped from his hand. Everyone turned, security, assistants, even the janitor paused mid-swipe. The little girl ran toward him, arms outstretched, holding the paper bag high. Greater than, you forgot your lunch, Daddy. She said in a whisper, soft, trembling, but full of warmth. Time stopped. Ethan blinked, confused. He'd never seen this girl before. Her cheeks were rosy, her smile innocent, her tiny hand holding that paper bag like it was the most important thing in the world. Greater than, I think you've mistaken me for someone else, he said quietly, kneeling to her level. No, she said, shaking her head. Your daddy. You always say you'll come home soon, but you don't. Mommy says you're working to buy the stars. Ethan's heart twisted. The words hit like a storm he didn't see coming. The little girl wasn't afraid of him, she looked at him with the kind of trust he hadn't seen in years. Around them, the world kept spinning, phones buzzing, footsteps echoing, but for a moment, Ethan just saw her. Greater than, what's your name, sweetheart? Anna, she said proudly. Anna Grace. And your mommy. She's waiting outside. We made you lunch. She said you'll be hungry. She handed him the paper bag, slightly crumpled, but smelling like something home-cooked, warm, and real. Inside was a peanut butter sandwich, an apple, and a note written in a child's handwriting. Greater than, we love you. Come home soon. Ethan stared at it, his throat tightening. The security guard hurried over, whispering. Greater than, sir, I think the little girl might be confused. She's been waiting for her dad who works around here. But Ethan didn't move. He kept looking at Anna, then back at the note. A tremor ran through his hands. Greater than, can I see your mommy? He asked softly. Anna nodded eagerly, holding his hand like she'd known him forever. Ethan hesitated, then let her. For the first time in years, someone held his hand without wanting anything from him. Outside, the crisp air smelled of roasted chestnuts and the city's usual chaos. Anna led him to the park across the street, where a woman sat on a bench, holding a thermos. Her name was Maya Grace. She was in her late 20s, simple clothes, hair tied back, tired eyes, the kind of woman who looked like she'd fought life and was still standing strong. When she saw Ethan holding Anna's hand, her eyes widened in shock. Greater than, Anna, she exclaimed, standing up. Sweetheart, what did I tell you about? Greater than, Mommy. Anna interrupted, smiling. I found Daddy. He came to eat lunch. Maya's face paled. Oh my God, I am so sorry, sir. She keeps saying her dad works in that building. I've told her. Greater than, it's okay, Ethan interrupted, his voice unusually gentle. No harm done. He looked at Maya, really looked at her, and something inside him stirred. She looked exhausted, but her eyes carried the same fire he once had when he started his company. Anna tugged at Ethan's sleeve. Greater than, sit. We made sandwiches. Ethan hesitated, the CEO of a global empire sitting on a park bench eating sandwiches. Impossible. But, something about this moment felt right. So, he sat. Anna opened the paper bag proudly, placing the food in front of him. Greater than, Mommy made your favorite, peanut butter and strawberry jam. We didn't have fancy bread, but it's still good. Maya smiled awkwardly. I told her not to bother anyone, especially not people from that building. She just misses her dad. He left when she was 2. Every morning she sees men in suits and hopes. Her voice cracked. She looked away quickly, blinking back tears. Ethan felt a weight in his chest, the kind that didn't come from business stress but from something far older, deeper. Greater than, I'm sorry, he said softly. I didn't mean to make her hope. No, Maya whispered. You didn't. She just wants someone to stay. Silence settled between them. Anna happily hummed, eating her sandwich, oblivious to the ache in her mother's voice. Ethan watched them both, the tiny girl with her peanut butter smile, the mother pretending to be strong, and felt something break inside him. He'd spent years chasing success, buying things, closing deals, but he couldn't remember the last time he'd shared lunch with another human being. Greater than, he said after a while, when I was her age, my mom used to make the same sandwich. She used to say, love is made of simple things, food, time, and listening. I never listened. I was too busy becoming someone. Maya looked at him quietly. You became someone, though. He nodded, staring at the skyline. Greater than, yes, but I lost everyone along the way. Anna looked up, smiling with crumbs on her cheeks. Greater than, it's okay, Daddy. You can start again. The words hit harder than any boardroom criticism ever had. He laughed softly, tears in his eyes before he realized they were there. Maya's expression softened. She does that to people. Makes them believe again. Ethan smiled, a real one this time. Greater than, maybe she's right. For the next hour, he sat with them, talking about silly things, birds, sandwiches, the color of clouds. He laughed more than he had in years. Maya's guardedness melted bit by bit. When he stood to leave, Anna jumped up and hugged him tightly. Greater than, don't forget your lunch next time, Daddy. He knelt down, voice trembling. Greater than, I won't. Thank you, Anna. He handed her a small gold pen from his pocket. Greater than, this was my first pen when I started my company. Maybe one day, you'll start something. Too. Her eyes widened. Really? For me? Greater than, for you. Maya smiled shyly. You didn't have to. Greater than, I wanted to, he said. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He looked at the paper bag still on his desk, the note inside. He picked it up again and read it under the dim light. Greater than, we love you. Come home soon. He hadn't heard the word home in so long. For years, success had filled every corner of his life, except that one. The next morning, his secretary found something strange. Ethan had canceled all his morning meetings and told his driver to take him to the community center in the poor part of town, the one Maya had mentioned she worked at. When he arrived, Maya was there, organizing food drives for single mothers. She froze when she saw him. Greater than, Mr. Cole. You came. Ethan, he corrected, smiling softly. Call me Ethan. And yes, I came to help. She blinked, not sure if it was real. Greater than, help. With what? Lunch, he said, smiling. You and Anna reminded me how important it is. Over the next weeks, he began sponsoring the center quietly. He visited often, sometimes with pizza, sometimes with books for the kids. Anna always ran to him yelling, Daddy. And Maya always blushed, apologizing, but Ethan never stopped her. He'd found something he didn't even know he was missing. Months later, on a snowy December evening, Ethan was sitting at the center again, surrounded by laughter, warmth, and the smell of soup. Anna sat beside him, drawing on a napkin. Greater than, what are you making? he asked. A picture of our family, she said proudly. See, that's mommy. That's me. And that's you. He froze for a moment, then smiled. Greater than, it's perfect, he whispered. Maya looked over from the counter, meeting his eyes. He smiled, and for once, she didn't look away. The man who once lived among marble walls and glass towers had finally found something real, something no money could buy. A home. Heartbreak epilogue. A year later, Asteria Foundation for Single Mothers opened its doors, funded by Ethan Cole. At the ribbon-cutting ceremony, reporters asked him, "Greater than, what inspired you to start this?" He looked down at the little girl holding his hand and smiled. "Greater than, a sandwich," he said softly. "And a little girl who reminded me what love looks like." Anna grinned, waving at the cameras. "Greater than, don't forget your lunch, Daddy." The crowd laughed. Maya wiped a tear, and in that laughter, under those lights, Ethan Cole, the billionaire with everything, realized he'd finally found what he was always searching for.